Rice, the staple food of millions worldwide. Throughout history, across civilizations and cultures, rice has been the most commonly consumed food. About 3 billion people, nearly half of the world's population, depends on rice for survival. The food security of the world depends on this marvelous cereal. In India, it's used in weddings, festivals, and for anything sacred. In Japan, rituals surround the preparation of the rice beds. China's foods made from rice are the basis of festivals such as the Land Opening Festival. Without rice, Italy would be without risotto or Spain without paella. That makes rice culturally important not just here in India, but in all parts of the world. It wouldn't be wrong to call India the birthplace of rice. Although rice diversity and traditions associated with rice exist in many other places. In 1949, a famous Russian botanist, Nikolai Vavilov, had proposed a total of 8 world centers of plant genetic diversity. Vavilov distinguished the Indian region as one of these world centers of crop plant origin and diversity. This means that the greatest number of rice varieties and related genes are found in India, particularly in the Jaipur tract of Orissa and the Swathe cutting across Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh. Rice is not a gift of nature. It is in fact a gift of the Adivasi communities and the farmers who over generations took wild plants of the forest and gradually created edible varieties of rice. Our farmers have over generations learned to cope with different kinds of challenges, and the farming community has conserved the varieties that help them tide over those challenges. We have a huge range of properties in rice that farmers have conserved. There are rice varieties that are tolerant to droughts, floods, diseases, and pests. There are those that ripen quickly and those that take a long time to ripen. Those that can grow on hilly slopes and others that grow in marshy wetlands. India is not only the birthplace of rice, but also the region where the maximum diversity of rice is found. This genetic wealth is India's gift to mankind. At one point in time, India had about 1 lakh varieties of rice. Now many have been lost, and we urgently need to conserve what is left. The genes contained in these varieties will help us breed new varieties for any challenges ahead. Our best insurance against the threats of climate change is the genetic diversity of our crops.
सबसे बड़ी महत्वपूर्ण चीज सोचने की ये है कि अगर हम धान का जन्म स्थान है तो हमारी जिम्मेदारी सिर्फ भारत की खेती के लिए नहीं है। अगर धान यहाँ बचा रहा तो कहीं भी होगी तो धान के जीन जो हैं वो यहाँ से मिल जाएंगे। लेकिन यहीं अगर खत्म हो गया तो जब चुनौती अमेरिका में होगी या वियतनाम में होगी या फिलीपींस में होगी तो जीन्स यहाँ पे से अगर नहीं मिलेंगे तो कहीं नहीं मिलेंगे। इसलिए बहुत ही ज़रूरी है कि हर फसल को अपने जन्म स्थान में बहुत ही सावधानी से सुरक्षित रखना।
So why does such an important food source find itself endangered? Intensive agriculture, focusing primarily on increasing yield, has raised the country's food production. But it has also led to the loss of genetic diversity. During the Green Revolution, the high-yielding varieties began to displace traditional varieties, which gradually started disappearing from farmers' fields. In places like Jharkhand and Orissa, which are rich in rice diversity, misguided government schemes like the Seed Exchange program, ask farmers to bring their traditional varieties and take back high-yielding varieties in return. There is no effort to conserve the traditional varieties. So this disastrous scheme results in the loss of genetic diversity on a big scale.
जो देश इतना भरपूर था धान से, वहाँ फिर खेती दूसरे तरह की होने लगी। हरित क्रांति आई। हरित क्रांति से सिर्फ वो धान और वो गेहूं का उत्पादन हुआ जिससे कि उत्पादन बढ़ाया जाए। वो उस समय के लिए एक तरीके से देखा जाए तो सही भी था, क्योंकि हमको देश को खाद्य सुरक्षा प्राप्त करने के लिए उत्पादन बढ़ाना था। लेकिन उस वक्त जो लापरवाही हुई, खाद्य सुरक्षा के लिए उत्पादन बढ़ाते साथ साथ हम धान का संरक्षण भी कर सकते थे, लेकिन वो हुआ नहीं। नतीजा ये हुआ कि जहाँ 65-70 हज़ार तरह के धान की किस्में होती थी, वहाँ अब सिमट के बहुत कम धान की खेती होती है। धान के जीन्स को, धान की विविधता को, धान की हजारों किस्मों को बचा के और आगे वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए बचा के रखना, विश्व स्तर की खाद्य सुरक्षा के लिए बचा के रखना, ये हमारा दायित्व बनता है। जिस तरह से मेक्सिको का दायित्व बनता है मक्का को बचा के रखना, जिस तरह से इराक और ईरान का दायित्व बनता है गेहूं को बचा के रखना, उसी तरह से हमारा दायित्व बनता है धान को बचा के रखना। यहाँ बचेगा तो विश्व स्तर पे धान की खेती कभी नहीं खत्म होगी, और यहीं खत्म हो जाएगा तो कोई ऐसी चीज नहीं है जो कि धान की खेती को अलग से बचा पाए।
Another challenge is posed by the heavy promotion of hybrid rice. Once the farmer loses his own traditional seed, there is no way to bring them back because the government doesn't produce these seeds and neither do the private companies. There is nowhere to buy them.
उसमें तो फायदा तो होता है, लेकिन उसमें हर एक प्रकार का बीमारी भी होता है। ये सब फलेरिया सब होता है और तरह तरह का बीमारी होता है, इसलिए हम लोग तो देहाती धान ही लगाते हैं।
समाट में कूटने से हम लोग को ये चावल का टेस्ट लगता है, और मशीन में जो कूटते हैं वो उतना अच्छा नहीं लगता है। इसमें सब ऊपर वाला सफेद भाग हो जाता है और ये लाल नहीं बचता है चावल में, और जो लाल रहता है वो विटामिन है, लेकिन हम लोग इसी को खा के मजबूत बने हैं।
India has a special responsibility to conserve the gene pool of rice for future generations, being the center of origin and the custodian of thousands of valuable genes. Gene Campaign. A leading research and advocacy organization began a few years ago to conserve the genetic diversity of rice. Based in Jharkhand, it began to collect vanishing rice varieties from fields of farmers in interior regions where modern farming practices had not reached. This collection stretches from Jharkhand to Orissa, Chhattisgarh, West Bengal and parts of the northeast, trying little by little to find as many of the farmer varieties as possible. Gene Campaign is trying to revive the living heritage of India by not just conserving the traditional seeds in banks, but also bringing them back to farmers' fields where they glow in diverse shades of green as a live bank in nature. Collecting the traditional varieties is a slow task, requiring patience. Gene Campaign collects the seeds from farmers along with the knowledge that the farmer has about that particular variety. Whether it grows tall or short, is it resistant to disease? Does it mature quickly? Does it tolerate drought? And so on. In addition to this, Gene Campaign also talks to the family and asks the women about other kinds of properties like its storing and keeping qualities. Whether it's susceptible to insects or not. Does it cook fast or take long? How long does it stay fresh after cooking? Is one hungry soon after eating it, or is one full for a long time? After the collecting and first level characterizing, the seed is cleaned and dried for several days in the sun. It is very important that seed moisture is brought down as much as possible before storage. Since rice grows in the monsoon season, there is a lot of moisture in the air when it is harvested. Hence, it is very important that farmers learn to dry the seed properly. A practical test to see if the seed is dry enough for storage is to crack it between the teeth. After drying, seeds of the different varieties are stored in labelled airtight glass jars for medium-term storage. Bulk seed is stored in the traditional way, in baskets lined with a mixture of cow dung and straw and finally sealed with the same mixture. The samples are then stored in field-level zero-energy gene seed banks.
नहीं, मोरा में धान रखने से अच्छा रहता है, उसका बीजा भी अच्छा रहता है, चूहा से बचता है, कीड़ा उड़ा से सबसे बचता है।
उसमें धान बर्बाद नहीं होता है, बिल्कुल साफ रहता है।
In order to keep the seed alive, every year the samples are grown out to refresh the seed and to allow them to adapt to the environment. The varieties are grown out in demarcated plots and the renewed seed is taken from the center of the plot so as to prevent any mixtures. The new seeds are cleaned, sun-dried, processed and put back into the banks. While refreshing the seed, a second, more scientific characterization is done using scientific indicators. This is when precise measurements are taken of the plant like height, tillers, kind of panicle, number of seeds per panicle, seed weight, etc. This method of scientific characterization is taught to the village youth, many of whom are proficient at this work. In this way, science has been brought to the village and young people have been trained as scientists. The entire process of collection, characterization and conservation of the traditional rice varieties is being done by trained village scientists. The seed banks provide seeds to farmers in a 1:3 ratio barter system. The farmers don't pay any money for the seed but return 3 kilos of seed for every 1 kilo of traditional variety seed that they take. This does not place a burden on the farmer. This system seems to work well and therefore the traditional varieties are reappearing in the fields. Gene Campaign has shared 324 traditional rice varieties with the Indian Agriculture Research Institute for testing for disease resistance. Trials for drought tolerance are ongoing together with the local agricultural university in Jharkhand. Such material will be extremely valuable for breeding new varieties in the future, especially as climate change effects become more evident. Genetic diversity is vital for the future of our food security and will help us cope with the diverse range of situations. It is extremely important that we conserve our rice and sustainably use this important resource that we can share with the world. This can be India's gift to the world.